Corvina in this matchup.
Alright, and we have our first game on our way right now with Orpheus against Hellscreamer. Hellscreamer actually brought in the Lucian Braum as what Infinity predicted. And here comes into Mulligan phase. It's definitely the Citra gotta go, right?
Yeah.
So Orpheus having a hand that could curve from 1, 2, 3. And that is exactly the kind of hand that you want to see from a
Definitely.
Venomman.
So Omen Hawk gonna be denying the pressure from this Fleet Feather Tracker right here. And then, but we're gonna see a War Chef come down on turn 2 for Orpheus. And as Moonboy pointed out, this is a really good curvy hand to have for scouts.
Exactly, and you know, with the Omen Hawk and the War Chef combo, he probably could get a free trade of the, sorry, with the Fleet Tracker and the War Chef over here, he could probably get a free trade of the Omen Hawk over here, and you know, it would really benefit Orpheus in terms of value over here.
That's correct. And he's gonna get to keep his board, and Hellscreamer is gonna lose his Omen Hawk.
And at the same time pushing in 2 damage into Hellscreamer's Nexus. This seems like a fairly good early game for Orpheus at this point of time.
Yep, but let's not count out how this Lucian Bromless can actually go over the top of this usual scout list. So Orpheus here thinking about what combat tricks Hellscreamer can play. So opting to take out this Omen Hawk already, and Hellscreamer doesn't seem to have a response. I mean, he wasn't incentivized to do anything there anyway. And Lucian now coming down from Hellscreamer.
So Orpheus actually do not have any way to take out the Lucian at this point of time, right?
Yeah, I mean, he can drop Blight Steel
Mhm.
and then block because the quick strike isn't gonna matter at that point. But we see Omen Hawk really doing the work here as we see a big Senna with 5-3 on the side of Hellscreamer.
Exactly. So with both, you know, Lucian and Senna on the board right now, it's probably kind of a headache for Orpheus. As we
So
don't really want to see
misfortune
both the
now coming
couples on
down
board.
for Orpheus. And he just opts to take the damage and then probably trade off using the Fleet Feather Tracker here. But he's in a precarious situation right now as anything that he kills will level at least one of the cards of Hellscreamer.
Mm-hmm. So that's always the like dilemma when you face against the Lucian and Senna matchup, is that when they have both the couple on board, it's kind of difficult to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. When they have the power couple on board, it's so bad for you. But I mean, the best decision is always to kill the Lucian,
Mm-hmm.
because if you kill the Lucian, all the other Sennas don't get buff. But if you kill the Senna, all the other Lucians in the deck get buff.
Yeah, exactly. And having a Lucian on board to get their rally off is really not what you want at this point of time.
Yeah, it makes a lot of attacking really attacking for the one having Lucian
Mm-hmm.
really good, because it feels like you can't block, because if you block anything that trades, he'll get another attack. And then if you attack with Lucian on leveled up Lucian on the board, it's gonna be awkward as well because he'll just sacrifice one of his units and then uh, get you on the crackback with the attack.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And here we probably get to see MF over here going off from the Lauren Prodigy.
Yeah, definitely. And from Orpheus' hand, he's not gonna have anything to save this. So a really great open attack from Hellscreamer, and we're really seeing the Omen Hawk do all the work here for for Hellscreamer. Just two units on the perfect curve from
Yeah.
Omen Hawk, and Demacia is already in trouble.
So that is the problem with like the Demacia. If you're on curve, you're unstoppable.
Yeah, yeah. So
And a
remember,
Venomman
just yeah. Oh my
coming.
God, Bannerman is also down. Yeah. So I don't think there are really any great attacks for Orpheus here, but I mean he can turn it around with Genevieve because he can get rid of the Senna.
Mm-hmm. But however, he's actually trading away two scouts unit for this.
So interesting take here from Hellscreamer opting to save the Lauren Protege.
So I'm guessing he's trying to use the Lauren Protege to get more value off from him for the next turn at least.
I think it's going to be something he wants to pull away one of the creatures because Warchef is going back to 2-3 and he can pull the Warchef and
Yep,
still keep his Lauren Protege on board.
exactly over here.
So Orpheus here thinking about killing the Senna already instead of getting value from Brightsteel, but he opts for the I say optimal option. But it's gonna get punished here by riposte.
Yep, and here we see a repulse immediately from Hell Screamer. Why actually if he actually goes for the kill for this Senna, there's a chance of a Lucian coming down and the power couple both sticks on board again.
Yeah, yeah. And then I think that was a really great play actually from Hellscreamer. That's a really high level play,
Mm-hmm.
baiting you into thinking that he might have made a mistake with that Blightsteel, putting it on the Blightsteel on the Protege,
Mm-hmm.
but in the end he actually had a repose to punish the Genevieve play.
Yes, exactly. And here we have a attack from Hell Screamer bringing down Orpheus to 6. And Orpheus seems to be in a very bad position right now with no board.
Definitely in the Demacia matchup, what like I said a while ago, what matters is board, board, board. So I mean, for Hellscreamer's side, he has four creatures,
Mm-hmm.
and Orpheus has nothing on his board.
So here comes a Grizzled Ranger coming down. Well, Grizzled
And
Ranger
another,
is probably, yep, and another Senna.
yeah, but oh, and there's the Relentless Pursuit. I think this is good. This is
Yep,
GG for
this is
Hellscreamer.
probably a
Like
game for
he
him.
gets for game one for sure. There's no way that you can block this,
Yep, and coming
which
in
isn't
with
gonna
the
result
attack
to
from the
lethal.
full board.
And even losing the MF in the process. Like that's just icing on the cake. And here we see Hellscreamer taking game one from Orpheus.
Yeah. So now moving on to game number 2. Do you think Orpheus would actually go for a change of deck over here?
Um, Probably not. I mean, he wants to get this scouts win on the Swain list,
Mm-hmm.
right? Corvina would be like a bit more favored against the Swain list, but it doesn't matter if you just win one match, right? Hellscreamer
Hell Screamer just need
asking,
a smoke break.
yeah, he was like, he's probably like, oh, how did I win that match? Oh my god,
Oh, I need a smoke break.
that was it, that was too much. Can I take a smoke break first, please?
Well, coming on into game number 2 into Mulligan phase with Orpheus keeping the Lauren Prodigy and the Vanguard Bannerman.
Yeah, yeah. I think Vanguard Bannerman is gonna do some work here to get the other some creatures out of like the poke range of Calling Strike
Mm-hmm.
and the other damage based spells. But he's thinking about throwing Vanguard Bannerman away.
But we are moving into the kind of like meta, right? Where Vanguard Bannerman is not exactly the best card in the Bannerman list, but instead it might even be the worst card in the whole list, right?
Yeah, yeah. It limits your card choices. Plus, I mean, how do you contend with the Noxus list running around? I mean, you can't block a 4 power creature. Like if you don't curve from 3.
Definitely. And a Fleet Ladder Tracker coming in late at this point of time.
Yeah, it feels bad, especially when you're in Demacia and you don't curve. So I mean, it's okay that he got Warchef on the turn 3, but now having Fleet Feather come in late, it makes your future turns awkward.
Exactly. And especially he has like 4, 5, and 6 lineup right over here. The
Yeah,
Fleet Tracker might
so
be in a little bit of awkward position.
yeah, so I mean, he's not gonna have theoretically a chance to cast this Fleet Feather Tracker just because he drew it late.
Yep, and we see Hell Screamer passing for the first 3 turns.
hmm So it's I don't know if his hand bricked or he's just waiting for the opportune moment. Like a culling strike on these Lauren Protege would be really nice.
Exactly, and here we see, yep, exactly as what you said, a Culling Strike onto the Lauren Prodigy over here,
Yeah.
and
So lots
it's
of
down to
value
6,
from culling strike.
bringing Hell Screamer down to 11, and no, Hell Screamer still keeping 4 damage in hand. Does that mean that he don't really have much, creatures to react to the creature bot over here?
It feels like he doesn't have any creatures because his first drop is Swain, and that's really not something that you want to see when
Mm-hmm.
you're playing this Swain control list. Like you want to see the board clear first before you start dropping Swain. But I guess he has a suboptimal hand. Maybe he has all these uh what do you call this? Leviathans in his hand.
Leviathan, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is a surprise that we are not seeing a block for the Swain over here, taking 6 direct damage into his Nexus.
Yeah, yeah. That's an interesting take on this matchup because I think his life total matters a lot in this matchup, especially when you start getting those chip damage from Leviathan on turn 8.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he was saving for this Genevieve, so he opted not to block so he can have more creatures that Genevieve will buff on his attack turn.
And we see a Death's Hand over here coming on into the Veiler, and it makes Ophia's attack a little more awkward at this point of time.
Yeah, and maybe like Hell Screamer was just saving all this removal get the important targets. So really disciplined play from him. I mean, it's quite greedy, but you get to this point wherein you're hitting the important targets instead of wasting it on early board control.
And especially creatures like Genevieve and Citria can be really, really problematic when it comes to this point of game.
Yeah.
So moving on to
So
turn 7.
yeah, we get a black market merchant off of the Death's Hand from the last turn. A parlay is coming in now from Hail Screamer, so this is probably signaling more pilfered goods or black market merchants.
Wow, if Hell Screamer actually start yoinking his high-end creatures or high-end spells, Ophius might be in a little bit of a trouble over here.
Yeah, but I mean, Orpheus is gonna start dumping his hand because Hell Screamer's deck doesn't have a realistic way to clear a wide board.
Mm-hmm. Probably a Make It Rain from a cat would be good enough, but it's not good enough at this point of
Yeah,
time.
it's not gonna kill anything,
Yeah.
to be honest. But the parlay on the next is definitely signaling some sort of plunder play. So it's either BMM or pilfered goods that's coming down.
Yeah, and it's Protector onto the Genevieve over here trying to save his gen.
hmm
But
So on
mhm.
on Orpheus next turn, do you think he'll just open attack with everything, or is he gonna go for a scout attack?
Well, at this point of time, probably an open attack with everything with a back-to-back open would highly likely close him the game at this point of time.
Yeah, that I think that's a good play. So I mean, Moonboy, you've been playing a lot of these scouts lists
Yes, exactly.
on Master, so I think you're you're really well versed with the plays that this deck can make.
Well, especially when this deck goes really, really wide, it is very dangerous at this point of time. And especially when Hell Screamer is at 3 with 3 defending creature right now. Um, and yeah, it seems like the deck list from Hell Screamer also has no way to deal with such a wide board. And
Yeah,
with a
yeah,
back-to-back in hand, Ophias probably could be able to close the game right here, right
yeah.
now.
With the back-to-back in hand, it basically ensures that he's closing the game at this turn.
Hmm. So even a Depth's Hand coming on into the Ranger over here, a back-to-back could even save it and close you the game immediately.
Even Culling Strike is not gonna save Hell Screamer from this situation.
Yep.
9 damage already coming in. It's probably a Death's Hand or another Culling Strike, perhaps.
So
Two
here we see
spells.
a
Oh, so he got
back-to-back
the back
stolen.
to back from. But I think that's just about it. Like,
Yeah, that should be it. I think the back-to-back is
yeah.
just for statement. I have it. I stole it.
Oh, so there's just nothing he can do. Like Orpheus just not using, not even using his back to back to win the game.
Exactly. And
But
here we have Ophius winning the second round of
yeah,
the best of three. And we are moving on to game number three. It could be anyone's game at this point of time as we move into
so
game number three.
it's gonna be Corvina against the Swain list. So we're gonna see some like spicy yoink cards, and that's probably the only realistic way that Corvina is gonna lose if black market merchants start stealing Ledros
Yeah. So
from
we have things
Orpheus
like,
deck.
yeah, exactly. We have things like Ledros. We have things like Corina. All these things are really really prone to be stolen at this point of time, and
Yeah,
it's not
definitely.
and it's not what we want to be seeing that it's gonna be stolen.
So I've faced a lot this matchup like quite a bit on ladder, and then it just feels so bad. Like I on if your Ledros gets stolen, and it on the other hand as well, it feels so good when you're the one stealing the Ledros. Like,
Yeah.
this guy's not gonna win. Like,
I'm gonna cut your health into half over here.
yeah. And then I remember one time I yoinked with like BMM and then a pilfered goods, and I got all three Ledros. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
this guy will never win. So Annalise coming down from Orpheus and easily met with the calling strike from Hellscreamer here. Gotcha on the board for Orpheus with Dreadway deckhand coming in from Hellscreamer. Should he's gotcha on this Dreadway deckhand?
He probably has like much better targets to gotcha with the there is the black market merchant that is much threatening at this point of time. Twister Fate is also quite scary, so this 2-2 might not be much of a factor for Orpheus over
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
And here we see a Valve is onto the black market merchant.
Yeah. So I think it's okay to forego the discount on gotcha
Yep.
just because it's not a very good target.
Yes. And especially when you are a control deck over here, 4 mana is not exactly a lot at this point of time.
Yeah.
And the
So
Yordle
you're the
Grifter
grifter,
missing the
and it's not
allegiance.
even it doesn't even get allegiance yet. So no stealing ledgers from here. I mean, one ledgers is already in hand.
Probably that's the reason why he actually kept the Ledros over here so that he refrained himself from being joined.
Definitely, that's like a
Definitely.
good. That's a good play to. That's a good play around against Yoink. Like,
Yeah.
just keep the cards that you don't want them to steal.
The only way that you're not gonna steal is me having it in my hand.
Yeah, predicted. Like high
Yeah,
level play
high
right
level
here.
play. And a immediate thermal beam answering into the Swain. And Hellscreamer losing the Swain over here might be big, and as the Swain might be his best push at this point of time.
hmm So maybe I don't know if he had like no other play, but I feel like since Orpheus hasn't been playing any thermal beams, playing the Swain there was a bit precarious it was a bit of precarious situation for Hellscreamer.
Yeah. I mean, or subsequently, he might be trying to bait the thermal beam so that he could drop a second swing on the Leviathan safely.
Yeah, but and then he runs into this Vi Orpheus already has in hand. I mean, there's actually like an argument that he could have dry pass there with
Hmm.
Vi because Hellscreamer needed to develop anyway, but opting to develop it right away.
And getting stunned by the go cut of TF. And the second swing coming in. So is there actually a need to go for a second thermal beam on the swing immediately?
Another thermal beam on this Swain might be a good decision. I mean, he's not gonna get like he's gonna have one more copy of Swain left in the deck
Hmm.
or in his hand maybe.
Or what other possible plays do you think Orpheus have at this point of time? Mr. Shopton, the EF over here.
So Mystic Shot on the TF and a Ravenous Flock coming in, trying to clear this fight. So definitely we're gonna see a Thermo Beam from
Obviously.
Orpheus on the next turn. Yeah. He's just trying to make use of his mana optimally.
And a Glimpse Beyond over here. So this is kind of a weird play. Instead of having a blocker for the Swain, he decided to kill off one of his creatures for
Mm-hmm.
draws. What do you think? Is the Swain? I feel like the Swain is kind of a threat right now.
I think it was a good play because what happens is he gets to deny the level up from the Swain.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, arguably there was a chance to get rid of the Swain right away because his Swain wouldn't be leveled up anyway from the Ravenous Flock.
Exactly, and with a level up Swain, might be it might allow Orpheus to be in a very weird spot with a flip Swain.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 7 toughness is nothing to be underestimated for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the ability of Swain to deal 3 to everything, that's pretty crazy.
Yep, especially like he could clear your board immediately with the Nexus Strike ability of the flip Swain.
Mhm. Mhm. Eh, I've been into that situation like lots of times on ladder, like just a Swain attacking and clearing my whole board. It feels so bad.
And especially when you're playing like Corvina control with lots of small little creatures that's lesser than 3 health,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it will put you in a very weird spot immediately.
So I think we're gonna see like a Elise into a Thermo Beam, but I think Thermo Beam on this turn is the safer play. But he gets to develop Leviathan as well. I mean, if he can opt to dry pass, I think, but Hellscreamer has gone into his like power turn on this Bilgewater and Noxus decks wherein there's a threat of the either the Leviathan or the Rex.
Mm-hmm. And coming a straight thermal beam into the Swain to not allow a value from Riptide Rex, perhaps.
Hmm. So weird culling strike there from Hellscreamer. I guess he's I guess we see the value of the culling strike now since he's opened up with this
Draw Hunter.
Jaw Hunters. And immediately he gets a beast below from Jaw Hunters to put everything on curve.
And just as expected, Orpheus have direct answer immediately for both the
Yeah.
creatures over here.
So Withering Whale gonna clear these Jaw Hunters and a combination with the
Gotcha.
Gotcha is gonna clear the beast below as well.
And a stolen
And
Ledros coming in.
so this is the main reason why people are so mad with this mad with this yoink decks because they start stealing your good cards.
And probably the best answer right here is to answer the Ledros with your Ledros.
Yeah, but I mean, if he attacks, definitely Hellscreamer is gonna block, right?
Yep.
Like, there's no way he's not blocking this.
And
And
a
a
go card
stun
coming in.
coming from TF, preventing this attack from the Ledros. So hapless aristocrat possibly doing some work here, blocking the TF. I mean, Orpheus is pretty low, but he's got Grasp and Viole in hand as well.
Yeah, but however, we know that Hellscreamer actually runs cards that deal direct damage into the Nexus. So it at 6 damage, at 6 health, it might be in a very awkward spot, especially if a Leviathan drops right over here.
Yeah. So a nice top deck from Orpheus here with the double Grasp. I mean, do you think he should spend both on the Ledros instead of doing TF Ledros?
Probably over here, he could keep the board into a 1:1 one versus one kind of situation. But if he allows the TF to survive, Ophius might not have the opportunity to
It
deal
feels
with
like
a wider
Hellscreamer
bot.
is already winning here with Death's Hand, and yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
I was just calling it, and the warning shot is just gonna seal the game, and
and here we
Hellscreamer
have it with the
moving
warning
on to
shot.
semis. both players don't have the uh, toss cards, but we're gonna see Deep against the Darius, Freljordless. So, what do you think of this opening mulligan right here with all the heal cards? Is this a good keep
Okay, so
against?
Miggy over here, I feel like he needs to survive, right? Um, his creature is not gonna save him from the overwhelm in the early game. So probably keeping things like Valfeast and Graphs would save him in the early game, and then moving on to the late game, he's gonna go into deep and where big creatures come over in, and he's gonna overwhelm the Nox deck with all these big creatures.
So that's actually like the tightrope that you're walking when you're
Mm-hmm.
playing these deep decks, especially against these aggressive decks, is that you have to find that nice balance between your toss cards and cards that give you survivability.
Yes, especially, and that's where Tawny Toad shines, and it's probably the best card in the deck right now.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not gonna block this precious pet from Viole. So Thornitoad is gonna do some work here, blocking this Ruthless Raider. It's not even gonna kill the Thornitoad, and once the Thornitoad dies,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually gonna heal
Back that to
Miggy the
damage.
Great here. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So we have a choice here between Dead Bloom Wanderer or Vile Feast on the Precious Pet, but Dead Bloom feels like a much better play. It advances your toss
Mm-hmm.
and can block the Precious Pet as well.
Yep, and especially when you can go for the Bow Feast the next turn on the Precious Pet as well. Alternatively, you also have enough mana for the Grasp.
hmm So Ballista now coming down from Viole, and we're gonna see no attacks on the side of Miggy, opting to save the mana, so he'll probably do a grasp on the 4-3 here unless he drops a rider.
Yep, and here we see a Ruthless Raider coming from Violet's side. So it actually
Mhm.
shows that he might not have the Ruthless Rider from on his in his hand.
Yeah, and but he can represent the transfusion play now.
So attacking with everything over here. So a transfusion into the Iron Ballista might be huge for Migi over here.
Yeah, especially if like he doesn't have his uh transfusion,
Mm-hmm.
but transfusion is just gonna punish this grass play really hard, you know. But I mean, so that's why we go with the beast below play because it's just much safer than the grass play on the ballista.
Yep. And here we see he's deciding on the blocking options over here. So what do you think might be the best optimal block at this point of time?
I think this is a good block having the lifesteal unit in front because it's gonna be a what do you call this? Simultaneous damage. So you get
Mm-hmm.
to heal what the ballista is going to deal damage to, and
Yep.
then if he can't do a transfusion on one of the ruthless raiders because it's gonna die to 4 power.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like this is the optimal block. He
Yep.
has Vile Feast to get rid of the precious pet later on anyway.
Yep. And here we see the transfusion coming in into the Iron Ballista and an atrocity off the top for Migi.
So Atrocity not really what you want to see early on in this matchup.
Uh
I
huh.
mean, you want to see all these toss cards. So definitely we're seeing what we were talking about a while ago, not having toss cards early. Because the later you go on into the game, the more useless those cards get. Especially with Dreg Dredgers being at like 1 power now, it doesn't really trade with much.
And yeah, as you were saying about Dread Treasure, he drew it immediately for Migi over here.
Yeah. I mean, better have these toss cards now than later. But I mean, at this point of the game, you really want to see your bigger creature since it's on turn 6 already. Even dropping a Nautilus right away without having it leveled up is gonna save you so much HP in this matchup.
Nautilus with the 13 health with Tough as well.
Yeah, I don't know if any of his creatures can get through that. It's definitely gonna get like a lot of blocks.
So it's probably a Valfeast in the Withering Whale over here for from Migi, and a
Yeah,
transfusion will be a huge punish over here.
yeah. As well as a Noxian Fervor would be all right. I think you don't get the spider from Vile Feast.
And he get one less heal as well.
Yeah, one less heal as well,
Yeah.
for sure.
So passing the ball back to Viole, having his time with 9 mana up in hand. And the transfusion as expected coming on into the ballista, pushing in 6 damage immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, if this deck is not like developing creatures or anything, there's definitely like a
Combat spell.
transfusion or
Mhm.
a Noxian Fervor in hand. So that's one thing that's really good about this deck. Like a lot of people say that like it's an easy deck to play or like it's brain dead, but it's really not. There's a lot of micro decisions that can win you the correct matchups.
Exactly, and a Legion Grenadier coming down from Violet's side. Wow, but it seems like the Nox deck is actually pushing in much more damage at this point of time.
Yeah, but I mean, we still have two grasp in Miggy's hand, and we have four cards in Viole. So effectively, if there's no Noxian Fervors on the side of Viole,
Mhm.
Miggy is like around 17 HP still.
And
So
you
he
also
has to
have a
really,
Maokai as well.
yeah. So he's opting for a dry pass here and going for immediately for the grasp. So I don't think Viole is gonna have one more transfusion unless like he has all three.
That would be such a good top draw. So we see a Devourer of Deep coming down into the Iron Ballista over here.
Yeah, I
A
think that's the
Noxem
best play.
Fervor?
That's
Probably a
the best
Noxem
play
Fervor
right
here.
here. Yeah,
Mhm.
or an Noxian Fervor would be good for Viole. If he goes for the grass play, he just gains 3 life. But if he does this Devourer play, he gets to develop a creature on board as well.
And trading 3 damage into the Nexus from the hold on. A Noxem Fervor over here might allow Viole to survive.
Like he can throw his Grenadier into the
Devourer.
yeah Devourer. I mean, realistically, if you're playing Overwhelm, right, and
Mhm.
then you Noxian Fervor or like deal damage to the opponent's creatures, you're
Yep.
actually getting in more damage as well.
And a Noxian Fervor into the Nexus.
So
That's a
it
that's a cool decision over there from Viole.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that's like the best Noxian Fervor play he could have made. I mean, I think it's still great to try and save your Ballista with the Noxian Fervor on the what do you call this? The Devourer.
Devourer of the Deep.
Yeah. So opting to block with the Grenadier now on the Devourer. Some damage coming in now from Miggy, and we'll see a Darius perhaps, but a nice top deck here from Miggy. I would definitely spend the Ruination right away if Darius comes down. Like, oh, let's just deny that already.
And like a Ruination just shuts the Daria off immediately, and he has like 3 cards in hand, so his options are fairly limited at this point of time.
Yeah, we're gonna see another Noxian Fervor here, and
A
Mickey
second
is
graph.
opting to spend the second grasp like almost almost immediately. He didn't even think about it. He was like, "Oh, if there's a Noxian Fervor here, I'm gonna spend the next grasp. Like
Yeah.
no
I'm
questions asked."
I'm not gonna take that 3 damage immediately.
Yeah,
And here we see Miggy finally pushing in more damage from his side of the board and a
yeah.
decimate off the top.
What are the odds that
Yeah.
Viole has like two decimates, two
Hey, you're
decimates?
the aggro deck. Decimate is probably the always drawing decimate.
Yeah, There- I bet it's going to be two decimates. It's gonna be so crazy if it's two decimates.
If that last 2 cards in his hands are decimate, he's a true champion.
Yeah.
He deserves the
We'll just
win.
we'll just call it right now. He's gonna win the whole Bilgewater Brawl if he has two decimates in hand.
Doesn't matter who win, you're a champion.
And a nice Devourer here coming down on the Grenadier, preventing the 2 damage. But are we gonna see the next another Noxian Fervor and force Miggy to spend his atrocity? But we are not going to see that play,
Yeah, it seems like his
unfortunately.
hand is not as reactive at this point of time.
Yeah.
So
But I mean,
Miggy's,
I think
yep,
the game is running away already from Viole because just dropping down an Imperial Demolitionist with no one else on the board, it just feels so desperate
yeah,
already
it
at
is
this
like
point.
signs of weakness.
Yeah, sign of weakness for sure.
And the
Ah, so
second
he had two.
demolitionist.
Do you think it would have been optimal for Viole to just wait? I don't think so.
Yeah, he
He
probably
would die
doesn't
to
have
the
the
open
time
attack.
over here.
Yeah, he would die to the open attack. I just realized.
And Miggy going deep immediately. Bring him down to 3. So a top deck Noxon Fervor could actually save Viole over here.
It's not gonna save him because Atrocity is in the ballpark for Miggy. So if he tries to go for a Noxian Fervor play, even Vile Feast just saves him right off the top right there.
Yeah, bringing him to 4 damage.
But is this gonna be lethal already? He's gonna block the 7 power, 7, 8, 9, so it's not gonna be lethal just yet. But he has Atrocity to close out the game, and I don't think Viole has any way to deal with this Atrocity if since Miggy is just going to use it on the 7/7.
Yep, definitely. And Viole passing the turn over here. Does it say that he has no options at this point of time?
Yeah, definitely no options. Like this Atrocity is definitely gonna end the game.
And
And
here
game
comes the
one,
Shiny mode. And the game 1 going over to Miggy.
yeah. So we're gonna see Ez Karma on stream
Yep.
for sure, right? Like that's the next deck. And I was chatting with Miggy actually, and
Mm-hmm.
he was saying like, I'm so happy that people keep banning Ez Karma because I'm not really good at the deck. So
So
this
he's
is like,
actually using S Karma as a band bait,
yeah,
would you
it's
say?
a bad bit. Like, hey, look at this deck. It's so good. You gotta ban it. I don't really know how to play it, but you're gonna ban this deck.
So we shall see right now, moving on into game 2. Would Miggy pilot this deck as good as, what you say he is?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Is he really gonna be bad with this deck, or is he gonna surprise everyone? And then maybe he was just trying to debate me, like saying he's bad at the deck when he's actually good at it.
So coming in with Miggy having a kind of decent draw from his hand over here.
I think not decent enough. Like he doesn't have a lot of things to shoot down creatures with.
He kind of has his Mystic Shot. He has a SA, and Ezreal is probably good enough for making free Mystic Shots as well.
Yeah, in this matchup, definitely, if I was the one playing the deck, I just drop Ezreal. Like I'm not even gonna wait for it to level up. I'll just drop it down, and then you have to answer with a Noxian Fervor or just allow me to get all these free Mystic shots.
And answering with the Noxian Fervors actually save yourself from 3 damage into the face as well.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a nice saying for Magic the Gathering as well. Like if they bolt your creature, oh, that's just 3 damage not going to your face. Like that's always the argument.
Yeah, exactly. Once you see the aggro player using burn on your creatures, you're
You're
safe.
winning.
You're
Yeah, you're
winning.
winning. So back to back Ruthless Raider from Viole and also back
And the
to back
second
Precious Pet. Yeah.
precious pet.
So he's gonna come in with these attacks on all three of these creatures.
He's
But
saving the
looks like
Ruthless
he's
Rider.
saving his Ruthless Raider. So what does that actually mean? Does he have like he's saving it for a transfusion play, perhaps, or
Probably
a
he will want
target
to maintain
for?
as much tempo as possible.
Mhm.
Making his board as wide as possible so that the Azure Karma would not have any way to respond to the creatures.
So Mickey has a couple of options here. Like This is the thing with Ez Karma deck. On turn 4, turn 5, like the middle of the game, you have this multitude of options that
Yep.
it really matters which one you play because it's really gonna win you the game. So
Hmm.
what do you want to see Miggy play here on this turn?
Well, personally, I would go for the Charm one play. Probably because of, you might be afraid of a Ruthless Rider. But however, with a Ezreal, you get to pick the Ruthless Rider away as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So we see now why he saved the the Ruthless
the
Raider,
Ruthless
so he
Rider.
can have a target for Demolitionist.
But do you think the Ezreal play would be more optimal over there during the last turn?
I think the Ezreal play last turn would be the losing play because if he clears it with Noxian Fervor, even though we were talking about the burn player using his burn on your creature is actually
Mm-hmm.
winning, it loses Miggy a lot of tempo
Yep.
because he's not gonna have anything on the board except the Shadow Assassin, and it's not gonna block most of these creatures profitably.
Mm-hmm. And here comes the attack of the Ballista and two pets as well. So we have been seeing like Viole going all aggro, really aggressively, bringing Miggy down to really low health over here. Do you think
And
Miggy has the chance to flip the game around?
I think as Karma, as long as they get to turn 10, they always have a chance to flip the game around. It's just crazy 20 damage right off of Ez and Karma only.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way you win this is just by having. Oh, and wait a minute. That's a nice Fury of the North from Viole, saving his Iron Ballista from certain death right there. So he's gonna have it again on the next attack turn.
Yep, and especially Miggy going down to 4 health, which is in range of Decimate as well, where he do
Hmm.
not have a deny to stop him at this point of time.
So on the next turn, he's gonna have Will and Concussive Bomb, so he can possibly uh prevent the lethal, but he's gonna be spending his whole mana. So a nice high level play would be to just pass because if you do action on this particular turn, except maybe Dragon would be an okay action, but once you start spending your mana, you're gonna open yourself up to the Decimate play.
Yep, and he has to always consistently keep up 4 mana in his hand to
So
deny
since the
that.
Decimate play is off the board, you can develop something here. So he has a choice of willing the Basilisk Rider, but definitely I think the Eye of the Dragon should be developed already because I don't think there are future turns wherein it would be optimal to develop this creature.
Yep,
And as we say that, Eye of the Dragon comes down for Miggy.
and probably putting in 2 Cloud Mushroom to clock the 2 spells for this turn to allow the dragon to be spawned right
Mm.
over here.
So he's definitely thinking about dropping Ezreal, right? Like or he's gonna save the
The
mana for
mana.
the will and concussive turn.
Yes.
So here we see Yon, and if Viole doesn't open attack, we're definitely gonna see Yon in play. If he does open attack, I think
A concussive palm is probably the best play
yeah,
over here.
concussive palm on the Basilisk Rider. But he's so low on HP right now,
Yep.
and Darius coming down, trying to for and this is definitely gonna force the concussive palm or
Or the
a
Yone,
will
right?
right away on the Darius. Oh yeah, a Yon.
Yeah, a Yone
Sorry,
over here
yeah,
would be
Yon.
so
Yeah,
good.
Yon. Because punishing the development on the Darius, 2 stacks on Ez, and he's gonna be able to block this ballista. But I think Viole is just gonna opt to not attack at all this turn.
Yep. And it seems like Migi actually might be able to turn this game around. Especially we have both Karma and Ezreal in hand, and he also have the Spirit Refuge for healing as well.
2 mushrooms.
He only has like what, 10, 15 puff caps inside?
I know. That's why I was laughing when Viole got two mushrooms. Like what?
What the chances?
Yeah. So Spirit Refuge is gonna be on the board already for Viole. I don't think is this the optimal play to Spirit Refuge right away, because now the person can just block and then Noxian Fervor at your face.
Yeah, and also not forgetting he also have a decisive maneuver as well to stun that Yon.
Yeah. So I don't think it's like this optimal play. Oh,
But it
but
seems like
Viole doesn't have any of those, and this 6 HP for Miggy is really gonna be crucial
mm-hmm.
to get to the late game.
Yes, especially. Do you think that
So
no, Ezreal should be coming down over here?
I thought for sure that Karma was
The play.
being dropped on that
Mm-hmm.
turn because Noxian Fervor wasn't spent to block the lifesteal
Yep.
from happening. So we're gonna see the double tempo play here with Will of Ionia sending the Darius back to hand and Concussive Palm on the Basilisk Rider. Yon is gonna be a good blocker for this Ballista. Even if he has the transfusion, the Ballista is still going to die.
The only probable save for Viole over here is to save the disciple with transfusion, but it looks like
Hmm.
he doesn't have a transfusion.
Yeah, and this game looks to be turning around in favor of Miggy.
Yep. And here
So
comes the Ezreal.
developing the Ezreal now. And are we gonna see the Noxian Fervor play already from Viole? Maybe he was just keeping it in hand.
Oh, and the Omen
Omen
Hawk.
Hawk.
Does he has an option further? And here we see a Decimate. So he has been holding the Decimate the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. So the optimal turn last time was definitely to drop the Karma.
Mm-hmm. And
Another
another
puff
puff
cap.
cap.
I don't understand these puff caps, man. They're just they're just on top of the deck.
So a Karma here would be really great, stacking with the Static Shock, drawing him 2 cards, dealing 2 damage, and adding 4 stacks.
Yeah, the real problem with this deck is really not Ezreal. Like a lot of top players agree that Karma is the problem in this deck.
Yeah, like multiplying spells like that is kind of dangerous, especially when Karma is on board.
So it just hyper levels your Ezreal when Karma is on board, and sometimes you don't even need Ezreal to win. Like just a Karma on board with
Enough
every
burn.
single one of your burn spells in hand is enough to kill the enemy.
Yep, and we have a deep meditation immediately from the top, and a get excited.
I
Look for the
feel so
level up.
bad
That's
when
true.
Karma is around and then he does a deep meditation. The opponent does deep meditation. I'm like, so how am I gonna win? How am I supposed to win? You just drew four spells. How do you expect me to win? Even Rummage is just oh my god.
Yeah, Ramage is so
It
good
feels
over
so
here.
bad. Yeah.
Drawing
Spending
4 cards.
the fleeting mystic shot, right?
Yeah, it's basically a free discard.
Yeah. So opting to
Discard the
throw
Karma
away
inside.
the Karma Insight, no, this is not needed anymore. I'm just gonna draw my third Karma.
And I had 2 Mystic Shots immediately from the top. That is those 2 Deep Meditation in his hand. He's probably have this game in his bag right now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So Miggy showing that he's not actually bad at this at this deck.
And immediately 2 Deep Meditation to close off
Meditation.
the game.
Yeah.
More damage from Ezreal immediately.
Yeah. He
And
was
here,
definitely just debating us by telling us he's bad at this deck. He knows how to play this deck.
and here we have